tweets, mute my Twitch page, blow into the mic to make sure that I am not muted, and then take a drink. Alright. Oops. Sorry. Taking care of some Twitch-related shenanigans. There we go. Alright. I think we're good. So, hello everyone. This is Chris Ingerson, and it is June 20th. And this is the June 20th TextWest Devstream. Alright. So today we are going to be continuing our development of the wizard cutscene into something a little bit more interactive for the player. Now, to start off, we're actually going to do something a little bit simple, I guess. Mostly, last week we discovered that there was a huge lag spike caused when the wizard cutscene actually starts playing. And I have since updated the project, or not the project, I've since updated the asset that I'm using for cutscenes to the newest version. Unfortunately, it still has the cutscene. However, I did do a little bit of testing before the dev stream today, and if I disable all of my cutscene, I guess, I don't know what I would call them, but tracks. So if I disable all of these and then I still play the cutscene, I don't have lag. So something I'm going to do to start off the dev stream is basically disable everything and enable them one at a time to see if any individual track is causing the problem. And if it is, then hopefully we'll be able to reverse engineer why it's causing the problem. The only thing I could think that would possibly be doing that, if it was just one track and it's not sort of the amalgamation of all of them, is the display text track. Mostly because that's the only one that starts right away, and it's also it's one of the only ones that I had custom scripts that I wrote for. And it's entirely possible that maybe when I wrote those scripts, I just didn't utilize them properly, or I didn't implement them properly, because you have to derive from specific classes to get it to function. So that's what we're going to do to start off, and then barring that, hopefully we'll be able to find something and fix it. If nothing comes of that, then we'll shift gears to the next thing I want to work on, which is stylizing how the pushback occurs, and that's actually going to be somewhat I don't know how to describe it. Basically, my intention for that is something that I've been toying around with for how the wizard will interact with you throughout the game. And that's, I wanted to have his dialogue actually be visible next to him. So he would be saying something. Obviously, we're probably not going to talk in full sentences. It's probably actually going to be more reminiscent of, say, old school text adventures where it's verb noun, basically. Or just, verbs or whatever. So when you get close to him, I would like him to basically say a bunch of two-word phrases like "get back" or "push off" or "push off." Is that a word? Shove off. Why not? That seems like a nice thing for him to say. So like, "get back," "go away," "shove off," and basically those two words would become the walls that push you back. And depending on how we end up making that look, there are two basic ways that I can think of it. One is to have the two giant walls that we currently have, or another thing to do would be basically just have a flat wall that has invisible walls next to it that are actually scooping you up so that you don't get pushed to the side and escape. But in any case, that's something for later on in the dev stream. To start off, we're going to go ahead and start testing these individual tracks. So we're going to start with King Animator. This is unfortunately going to get a little old. So I'm going to do some stuff. First off, let me go to spawn points. This is why I keep a test spawn in here. Alright, let's go ahead and move you back. We will rotate you 90 degrees. There we go. Okay, so that should be good. Let's go ahead and move you to the center. Alright, so we should spawn in here basically. So I don't have to keep running down the hallways. Or the hallway, singular. Oh, I should probably also maximize on play. Let's find out. Okay. So the King Animator does not cause that lag. Alright. I'm going to just keep turning them on until we see something that does. Hmm. I might have seen a hiccup, actually. Hold on. So this is going to be kind of difficult because we kind of have to stare. Yep, there's a hiccup there. Oh no, that kind of... That probably means that it is just a total... Like, however many tracks you have, the worse it's going to get. Yep, it's getting noticeably worse. So I'm going to... So there's definitely a hiccup there. I'm going to disable these two and try playing. And if it's smooth, then we know that it's a total track thing. It's not an individual. Interesting. So wizard group still gives a pretty significant hiccup. I'm going to just turn on the wizard animator by itself, see if that gives me a hiccup. Because the king animator track, I didn't notice anything. It's very slight, but I think it's there for the wizard animator. So it seems like anything to do with the wizard is kind of taxing things. Let's see. Again, I'm going to try it with a king animator to make sure I'm not crazy. There's like a slight hiccup, but it's very subtle. Let's go ahead and try this with the casting particles. Hello, Garrett. Welcome back to the Devstream. We're currently testing... Hold on. Okay. Well, if there was a hiccup, it was very small. We're currently testing out which tracks in our cinema director cause the significant lag we were hitting last week. It seems like it is, unfortunately, going to be basically all of them cause a slight amount of lag, and it just compounds as more and more tracks are enabled. So, for example, I'm going to turn on laughter particles, which I assume will be fairly light. Yeah, pretty much non-existent. Yeah, and it's. I haven't been able to fix it, but I have done research on it, and I mean, I updated the asset to its most recent version. That didn't fix it. I looked on the forums, and it looked like there were other people having similar issues, but I didn't see any solutions to it. So I'm still trying to fix that up. I'm going to turn all of these on, and we're going to see if we have noticeable lag, like very noticeable lag. Because individually, those tracks they cause a very, very slight frame skip. And I'm willing to bet this will be much more significant. Yep. Ah, that's so disappointing. So it's just the amalgamation of all of them, which is unfortunate. Let's see. So I'm going to turn off some of these guys. My theory is right now that pretty much anything dealing with the wizard seems to be really intensive. So let's go ahead and turn on basically these all. Curious to see if this gives us anything. All right. Yep. Okay. So yep, it's just however many tracks you have. It looks like the calls are just going to exponentially grow. So unfortunate, we can't fix it very quickly. Ah, that's annoying. Well, now that we've established how wonderful I'm doing, how are you, Garrett? Let's see. So with that cutscene stuff sort of checked out, the next thing we're going to do is work on the whole wizard speaking. So let's try to get that to look nice. We might, for the sake of debugging, let's go ahead and let's see. Where's our wizard? Wizard. NPCs. There we go. Turn on the wizard. And I'm just going to put him, I'm just going to keep him there, I guess. We will increase the size, though. So let's increase the radius to 10. That's not bad. That's probably fine. Let's see. And I should probably also, let's see, triggers. events. Let's turn off the throne trigger so I don't accidentally trigger that. And we're basically just going to constantly get pushed back by the wizard so we can see what everything looks like. But end result, or end goal for today, is basically to have the wizard speak, quote unquote speak, and have his words become the force that pushes you back. So he'll say, like, get back, and then that would get up in front of you, basically, and then push you back, and then it would dissipate. So just a little bit of wordplay. I'm sorry, that was not a funny joke, but I couldn't resist. Hello, Nixon. Welcome back. Right? Have you chatted before, Nixon? I feel like you have. I hope you have. Otherwise, I'm going to feel terrible. Either way, welcome. Doing okay. Got a lot of pathfinding. Working on my prototype finally. Oh, nice. Yeah, pathfinding sucks. Mechanim humanoids walking around. Tree prefabs on your terrain. Next up, tree chopping. Oh. Man, you really are going all out for the RPG stuff. Yeah. I wish I could have better stream times, but, you know, I have a day job. I always feel bad when people tune in late at night in their time zone. So I'm sorry that it you know tunes it, or that it goes out so late. All right. So to give you a sense of what it's going to look like right now, if we currently approach the wizard, we're going to get the same effect that we had last week. Set up, we'll get 2 giant walls of magic that scoop us up and push us all the way back to the end of the hall. So whoop, very fast. Yeah, gotta fix those light probes. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. What the heck? Well, that shouldn't be like that. I have to fix that. Anyway, so this is kind of the interaction that I would prefer. Oh, wow. I think it was actually picking me up because it was moving so fast. Was it? No, maybe not. All right. So this is kind of the interaction that I would like. So he would push you back, you know, fairly consistently until he's done turning the king to stone, and then he'll do what he does next, which we still have to figure out. But the idea would be like probably around here. So before you actually trigger, so right now I think we're triggering it right about there on the edge of the podium. What we would probably have happen is when you get to the end of the carpet, he would speak the words. They would sort of scale out from him and form the walls. So one word would be the left and one word would be the right. And then they would basically push you back. Now, if that does end up looking a little too odd, something we could do instead is simply have his words come out and they would basically be in the middle here where these two meet. And then the walls themselves would actually be invisible. So it looks like it's constantly pushing you back as a flat surface, but it's actually just 2 invisible angled colliders. So, all right. So now to work on getting his dialogue to actually happen. That's going to be, I think, the really visually interesting thing. Let's see here. So we're going to go to NPCs, Wizard, and we'll do Wizard. Open up Wizard Plow. All right. So this is, got to think through this system. So currently, we're going to try having 2 words be spoken, and those 2 words are going to basically just go out and scale up to become the wall textures. So what we'll probably do is, let's see here. Let's have, I want to say Wizard Plow. No, it's probably going to be something a little more strange. So let's see, we're going to say, I guess we'll go down a little bit. Public, am I using TextMesh Pro? I am not using TextMesh Pro. So using TM Pro, public TextMesh Pro. It's not going to be UGUI, it's just going to be TextMesh Pro. And then we're going to say, I guess speech. I spelled speech wrong. Prefab, because apparently, you know, it's not important for someone who's making a text-based bunch to be able to spell. Oh, that's interesting. Why? Oh, that is so unfortunate. I didn't know TextMesh Pro had a tag attribute. Okay, so I guess I have to do sleepyowl.common.tag. That's annoying. Um, all right, so we're gonna have a speech prefab. I'm using sleepyowl.common. Good. On trigger enter, we're actually going to trigger our speaking coroutine, I guess. So do we want it to be a coroutine? Yeah, we'll make it a coroutine. So we're gonna say using system.collections. Actually, you know what? While I have people in the chat, I should ask you guys: are there other times? I know that you guys are between time zones. Obviously, you guys have different time zones than I do. But what are the most common times that you guys watch streams? Because I've been trying to figure out if I should move my streams around a little bit, or if I should do more streams on certain days at certain times. Um, and I have yet to actually delve deep into research on that, but it's something I've been thinking about. So if you have any ideas, or if you have preferences on when you guys watch streams, I'd be interested in knowing them. Okay, so we're gonna write some coroutines here. Private, I can't spell private apparently. Private enumerator, and we'll just have this be called speak coroutine. All right, we're gonna need some extra information up here. Go ahead and do this. Public float. Do I want to say lerp duration? Speak duration, I guess, is equal. Let's have it be done. I'm gonna say in 2 seconds. That might not be fast enough. I might actually have to lower that to 1 second by default. Okay, so we're gonna say float t is equal to 0f, while t is less than 1f. Yield return null, t plus equal time dot delta time, divided by speak duration, I believe is what I want to say. All right, and tend to watch all day from noon to around 6 p.m. Pacific time. After that, I often take a break to play games. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I try to stream whenever I can. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to stream, middle of the day, um, Eastern time, because I work. But it would be, if it's not a terrible time change, then I could, stream maybe on Wednesdays or something, or preferably on the weekends, or maybe I could do like what I do now, where Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays are full dev streams, and then maybe Mondays or Sundays or something could be like a music dev stream where I don't really talk and I just develop stuff. Hard to say. It's something that I would like to do just to reach more people, but it's definitely a time sink and it can be difficult to do. But I'll have to look into that some more to see, what people prefer. Anyway, man, I gotta do better at about talking and typing. I'm terrible at multitasking. So let's see, speak coroutine. So we need to actually position stuff here. But before we do that, so we're gonna move plow. Oh, and actually with this we're gonna need a bool. Private bool is speaking is equal to false. Let's see, plow.start plow is gonna happen here. Let's see here. Then we're going to say, so debug.log test. We're going to say if not is speaking, start coroutine, speak coroutine. Let's see, and then we're going to say here is speaking is equal to true, or true, I guess. True. At the end, we're going to say is speaking is equal to false. All right. And so we're not going to start the plow until we actually position everything properly. So we'll have about 1 second, I'm guessing, to position it, and then we'll be able to tell the plow, push the player back. So let's go ahead and say, do I want to do transform? No, I need to do text mesh pro. So we'll say text mesh pro left label is equal to pool manager dot request text mesh pro. I might end up making this my like a custom class for this, but speech prefab, and we don't have a parent. I probably should have one though. So let's go ahead and say public transform. What do I want it to be called? I could call it mouth, or just call it origin. All right, and then we're going to need two transforms, one for the left label and one for the right. So we're going to say public transform left wall, I guess. Public transform right wall. All right, and those are going to be the left and right sides of the plow, basically. So we're going to have it spawn underneath origin. And this is going to be kind of weird. I'm basically doing that so that I can get all the scaling information correct, and then we're going to have to scale it presumably from 0 to 1, and then have it move while it's scaling. Or actually, for presentation, dang it. I wonder if it would be better to have him constantly spam things at you. I'd prefer to have him only talk when you get close to him, but I want to give time for the words to be legible. So I would like him to say, like, get back, and then you see the words get back above him, and then they sort of flip and scale to get to the walls, and then they push you back. But for now, I think we're just going to kind of have him flip and do everything instantly and go to the walls and then push you back right away. We'll see how well that ends up or how well that turns out. I'm a little worried that it won't let you actually read the wall before you get pushed back by it, but we'll see. So we have the left label. All right, let's go ahead and duplicate this and make it the right label. Right label. We're going to request to do all that fun stuff, and then we're going to do this. We're going to say left label dot. Does it have a transform? It has a rect transform, but that's not super great. If you have a slight delay, not even much, your subconsciousness will catch it. No, that's true. But I would like. I feel like I've seen something like this before in either a cartoon or some movie or something. But basically, I would like it just to be sort of like neon signs, basically, of what he's saying. Because he's meant to... The wizard character throughout the game is going to be kind of mocking you whenever he sees you. So I would like his text to be very visible and legible. That way you can see what he's saying to you. Because a lot of times it's going to be poking fun at you or making puns or, you know, things that bad guys do in a game like this. So... for now, I'm not too worried about it, but I think as we polish this cutscene up, I'll probably start, you know, getting down into the little cracks and crevices and be like, no, he's got to do this, no, he's got to do that. Shakes fist at wizard. Yeah. I really wish I could do some sort of like melodramatic cutscene. That would be hilarious. But that doesn't quite work with this game. Let's see. So we have our left and right labels. I can't really do anything with them, unfortunately, so I'm going to go ahead and make a custom class before we do anything. Let's call this create. You know what? I might actually call it custom, or it might be a good script to have in more than just the castle. So we'll call it like wizard speech. 2 E's. I always start to type speak, but it's speech. So wizard speech, I guess. Don't really know what else to call it. So, and this is going to be the base class for pretty much everything he says. But it's just going to have some convenience options so that I can write stuff and I can say like always face the player, or something like that. Just give me better control over it instead of relying purely on the built-in Text Mesh Pro stuff. Let's go ahead and open up. All right. It's going to say using sleepyowl.common. Put this in text quest. Oh, we got to say using TM Pro. Using TM Pro. Could do emotes with simple text next to them. There's text visibly linked to them in some way. With simple text next to them. When you say by a line, what do you mean? Actually, I hadn't even thought of doing emotes. That would be pretty funny. So things like, what is it, like that? Or that? That could actually be pretty funny. Although I really feel like that would have been better if this was set in the future or set in modern day, because then you could have like text emoji stuff, and that would be even better. But who knows? I could actually get away with that. I'll have to experiment with that. Think of a thought chart. Oh, so like the lines are coming from the character to the text, sort of like a more minimalistic speech bubble, basically. Let's see here. Because my current plan was to have the text match the color of the character, which admittedly isn't the best thing because, you know, colorblind people might have difficulty with it, but that should at least free it up to move around. But yeah, a line renderer actually would be a good idea. I might experiment with that and see what that looks like. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Wizard speech. Right. So here we're going to start with a couple of things. Private transform, cached transform. We cache all these because otherwise we generate garbage every time we do this. Cached. I can't spell cached. Transform. Get return cache transform question mark cache transform colon cache transform is equal to transform. All right. Let's see here. On top of this, we're going to need to say public text mesh pro. We'll call it label. All right. And let's go ahead and add a public getter setter, public string text, I guess. Get return label dot text. And then we'll say set label dot text is equal to value. All right. And let's see, what else do I have? I probably should add options for things like always face player, but I don't know if that would work necessarily. I would need a center pivot point for them to rotate around, which could get a little nasty. For now, I'm just going to leave this as it is. Again, we're kind of just prototyping the concept. So, do I need anything else? No. I don't even need sleepyowl.common in here, actually. All right. Let's go ahead and let that go. Let's come back up here to Wizard Plow Trigger. We're going to change Text Mesh Pro to Wizard Speech. Wizard Speech. Okay. Change all this fun stuff. All right. Good, good, good. And now I have a convenient access to a cache transform value, so I don't have to constantly create one and then position it. So let's see. We can say left label dot cache transform dot set parent null and true. I want it to keep its world position. Same thing for the right. So I'm going to say right label. All right. So we spawn it underneath a original parent transform. That way I know where it's going to be. And then I can set its scale to say like 0. And from there, we'll tell it to scale out and move to eventually reach its full size. So let's see here. So we have our float T. Okay, so now we can actually start doing lerping. So let's go ahead and say left label dot cache transform dot local scale is equal to vector3.lerp from vector3.0 to new vector3 1f 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 and based on t. All right, and then of course we can cheat and have right label dot cache transform dot local scale just equal left label dot cache transform dot local scale. Ta-da! All right, so that'll handle the scaling, but now we need to get it to an actual position. So we'll have to say, oh, actually I needed to cache that, don't I? So let's go ahead and say down here, vector3 cached left pose is equal to left label dot cache transform dot position, and then same thing basically for cached right pose is equal to right label dot cache transform dot position. All right, and now we can lerp between the cached positions and then their final positions. If we didn't lerp from a cached position, we would get that weird sort of, I guess I wouldn't call it stuttering, but like weird movement style where it's constantly decreasing its starting position, and that gives it this like weird floaty kind of look. So we're going to say left label dot cache transform dot position is equal to vector3 dot lerp cached left position, and finally ending up with left wall dot position. Oh man, I'm gonna have to, oh, and I need to do based on t, of course. The worst part of this is actually going to be rotation. So right label, actually it's not really going to be that bad now that I think about it. Cached right position, but it is something that I need to do. Right wall position. So let's go ahead and do this. So for rotation, I think it's going to be a little boring initially. We're just going to lerp straight to whatever the rotation, the end rotation is. Eventually, I would like it to do sort of like fancy flipping. So probably just randomized rotation until it gets to near the end, and then it's just going to straighten out. But for now, it's fine because, again, proof of concept. So we're going to say left label dot cache transform dot rotation is equal to, oh man, this is going to be super fun, is equal to quaternion dot Euler. Okay, that didn't work. Euler. And then we're going to do another vector3 dot lerp from left label dot, oh, can't do that. Got to cache it. So let's go ahead and just grab these guys, paste them in here. This is going to be rotation now, ROT. And instead of position, it's going to be Euler angles. Euler angles. Alrighty then. So let's go ahead and say left label. So we don't want to do that. Instead, we want to say cached left rot to left wall dot Euler angles, and then based on t again. All right, let's go ahead and copy this, paste it in, replace the right or the lefts with the right. Cached right rotation and then right wall. Okay, I believe this will do what we want. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Oh, actually, before I forget, where's the plow? Go down here. I'm going to have an event here, so public plow, delegate plow event. I guess, oh, delegate void plow event. And then we're going to say public event plow event plow finished. Ugh, plow complete. Is equal to delegate. So empty delegate. And this is basically the wizard plow trigger is going to be listening for that event. That way it can recycle these labels whenever it needs to. Let's go ahead and say wizard plow. Okay. So let's see, stop plow, and then we're going to fire plow complete. Sweet. Come down here. We're going to go to private void start plow plow complete plus equals, and it's going to be null for now. Let's go up here. Private void on plow complete. That's what it's going to do. All right. And that means we actually need to cache these labels, so we have to keep track of them. Let's go ahead and say private wizard speech left label. Go ahead and copy this, make it right label. Oops, no, capital R. I can't spell tonight. I don't know what it is. There we go. So now those are being actually tracked, which means that when onPlowComplete is called, we can just say if left label does not equal null, pool manager dot recycle left label dot game object. Simple as that. Let's go ahead and come up here. Say right label. All right. Let's see here. In addition to that, I do have one more thing to do. Right now I'm spawning the text, but I'm not actually setting it. So I need to actually have just a string representation here. So we're going to say public string words, phrases is equal to new string 0. All right. And let's go ahead and just say, where is it? All right. So up here, we'll say string phrase is equal to phrases random dot range from 0 to phrases dot length. Gotta make that phrases, not phrase. There we go. So that'll give us a random thing like get back or go away or don't touch me. Oh wait, no, that's 3. Dang it. That would have been a really funny reference. Let's see. So we get a random string from that, and then we're going to split that string in half based on spaces. So we're going to have 2 words in each phrase. Then we'll be able to use one word for the left, 1 word from the right. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to say string words is equal to phrase dot split. And this is a very inefficient way of doing this right now. Again, proof of concept. We'll fix it up once we're done. Let's see. I think I just want to do this. So a space. So that's just going to split it based on an empty space between the words. That should give me 2 words, and then I'll be able to say down here, left label dot text is equal to words of 0, and right label dot text is equal to words of 1. All right. And I think that's all we need to do. So let's go ahead and give this a shot after we set everything up, I suppose. So now we have all these fancy things. Let's see. I'm probably going to need to make a custom transform that's like around the W of the wizard once Unity compiles. There we go. Let's go ahead and make an empty transform, and we're going to move it up to about here. Yeah, about there's fine. Then we're also going to scale it down to 0. So this will be speaking origin. I'm just going to call it mouth. That just sounds better than saying speaking origin. So we're going to go back up here. There's our origin. Let's go to our plow real quick. And we might do something similar where we have... Oh, it's a start and end. I was going to say that's not right. Well, that doesn't seem too bad. Let's go ahead and... Oh, crud. Hold on. I almost forgot. Before we actually tell the plow to start, we have to parent our labels to it. Otherwise, they're just going to stay in place. So let's say left label dot cache transform dot set parent. There we go. left wall, and again, we'll say true. I'm hopeful that this won't actually cause it to scale automatically, but we'll find out. Right label, and then right wall. All right. Let's see. Do I need anything else? No, I think the rest of that should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to make a transform here. I believe it's going to need to be 90 rotation Y. So you can see that it's going to face down the Z-axis, and that's going to end up being the direction that our text faces. So it needs to face forward. Let's go ahead and face that 90 degrees. Nope, negative 90, like that. All right. Speak point. I don't know what else to call that. Speech point actually sounds a little bit better than speak point. Speech point. Whatever works. Let's go ahead down here. Oh. Really? Well, let's single you out. Let's hit 0 there, and we're going to hit negative 90 again. Yep, there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and assign those. So there's speech point right, speech point left. Probably should name them accordingly. Right, speech point left. All right, only one more thing, I think. Oh, right, speech prefab. Kind of important. So let me go ahead and make that real quick. Anything else from the plow? No. Okay, I'm going to minimize that, minimize you. I'm going to make I guess I'll make an empty game object for now. And I'm going to also, you know what? It can probably be done on one object. So let's go ahead and say right click. Do I want to call it 3D object? Yes, Text Mesh Pro Text. All right. Let's drag this over here so we can have a sense of what to do about it. Oh my, its shader is broken apparently. Well, that's fine because we're not doing anything with that particular font. We have our own font that we use. Haha! It is gigantic right now. And actually that's probably eventually going to be the size that we want it to be. So it's probably going to say something like back or whatnot. We do need it to be centered, otherwise it's going to look a little odd. Size 36 is probably fine. Actually, I probably need it to be even bigger. Let's go ahead and bump this up to like 72. Oh my, that is quite large. All right. There's a text container in here that's causing problems. I think. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, no, it's wrapping. Let's see here. There should be a text wrapping, but I don't know where that is. Huh. Okay. Well, that's a little annoying. Seriously? Like, there's not a... There it is. Margins. Alright. So from the right, we want, like, negative 10, I'm guessing. That's a little counterintuitive, but it works. I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, it's gonna look a little awkward, but for now, I think it's fine. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and rename this as label. And I lied. I am going to make a empty game object above it, mostly for organizational purposes because the label is kind of cluttered. There's a lot of stuff on it already, so I would like to be able to work fairly clean. Let's go ahead and apply wizard speech, drag in our label. These are both facing the same way. Yes, no, maybe so. Oh. Huh. I didn't realize that. Apparently the regular Text Mesh Pro thing uses rect transforms. Ooh. Well, that explains why that's like that then. Okay. Then we're going to have to do some fun oddities. Let's go ahead and drag this out. So I'm going to have a rect transform parented to a regular transform. That should be fine. Let's go ahead and say wizard speech. Let's delete this game object. Let's drag our wizard speech in here. Drag our label. And I guess I will 0 its position out. Then drag everything back. There we go. Now, I do need to flip the label, I believe. So let's go ahead and have its rotation be 180. Because forward Z is what tries to look at you. Which means that if this is going to face forward, I need to have my label facing backwards counterintuitively. Let's go ahead and change our width here to be 30. That should be fine. That's That's probably good enough for a test. Might be a little bit lopsided, but whatever. Okay, I don't think I need anything extra here. Everything else looks fine. I can probably turn off light probes, and I don't really need to do anything else. So, yep, looks good. All right, let's go ahead and make that a prefab. Except I don't know where my prefabs are, so give me a second. Oh, dang it. Ah, dang it. I hate when I do that. Let's see here. Where are you? I should have... Huh, apparently I don't actually have any prefabs here. Alright, let's go ahead and go to... If I can scroll. There we go. Let's see. Prefabs. Environment, levels, intro, castle. And we're going to put it here. So, Wizard's Beach. And I'm sure eventually it's going to go somewhere a little bit more generic, but, you know, for the time it's fine. Let's see. So we have our wizard again. Oh, wrong thing. That wizard. Let's drag in our wizard speech, and then let's make some phrases. Let's do like 5. Surely I can come up with 5. So we have get back, go away, back off, what was it, shove off? Shove off, if I could spell that. One more phrase. What should it be? Get back, go away, back off, shove off. I would swear, except I shouldn't do that. Let's see. Do I? Yeah, I already have go away. I already have back off. Dang it! There we go. Leave me. Why not? These are all just placeholder. Okay, I think we're ready to test. So let's go ahead and save and try it. Hello, Dr. Evil Genius. Be gone! Ah, dang it! That was a really good one. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to add that. Okay. Oh no, it went in reverse. It was away go. Oh no, it keeps going. Oh, come on, give me something else. I don't want just away go. That's weird. I must have put the... Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and check that. That's weird. So really did I assign them in the incorrect order, basically? Speech point left. Oh, I named them incorrectly. Okay. So let's just rename that right. And rename you left. Come back up here. So we're going to say right and speech point left. And then we have one more. What was that? It was be gone. Oh, you know what? Let's try the exclamation points. I'm actually curious to see if that looks nice. We'll just put it on half of them. Away go. Yeah. I should have a Yoda wizard somewhere in the game that just talks in reverse. That would be pretty amusing. Okay, so let's try this out. So they're a little big. And this is what I was a little concerned about. The words are too big, and you're too close to them that you can't really see them. So I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not like you'd be able to see them if they were smaller and right up in your face. But we might have to figure out some way of basically clamping them. And that could be done probably by reducing their size. Or being very selective with what he says. For example, leave is probably too long of a word. We probably can't do much more than 4. We probably actually can't do more than 4 letters per word. Otherwise it's going to look... Because at 4 letters it's already pretty stretched, unfortunately. I actually didn't notice the exclamation points. Have they been happening and I just didn't pay attention, or are they getting like called? There it is. Oh, but it's too big. Okay. So yeah, let's shrink the prefab text a little bit. I'm gonna get rid of leave me too. All right, so we only have 5. And sadly, I guess we'll have to get rid of shove off. I think it's too long. Actually, you know what? No. Let's keep that one on, because I'm going to shrink the text a little bit. We're going to see if it looks nice. So let's go ahead and shrink this down from 72 to 48. So this is the size it's going to be. It's a little smaller, um, but I don't think that's actually going to hurt it much. Let's go ahead and change our width back to 20, and I guess we'll do 25 for safety. Second thing we're going to want to do is say move our transforms that it's targeting down, because right now they're in the middle of their cubes, and I think if I move them down, it'll actually be fine. So let's just go ahead and say, I'm going to turn off my snapping. Not that it matters, I don't think. -2. Oh, okay, not -2. -0.5. Wow, really? Okay. Are these in roughly the same spot? Wow. All right, -0.25 then. Wow, that was ridiculous. All right, let's give this a shot. You shall not pass. Yeah, I probably should get that in there somewhere. And we can probably do that. Yeah, see, that looks a little bit nicer. Although now there's the problem of there's weird gaps in it. So actually, second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move the plow up just a little bit. So we're going to move it to like here. And let's go ahead. Do I keep the start? Nope, I did, but I also need to move the end up a little bit. Like right here. All right. Let's see here. So we're going to change the material on these cubes. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and put it here. So let's create... where is my material? There we go. We'll just call this wizard speech mat. It's not going to be particularly crazy. We're just going to have sort of like a black semi-transparency. Let's go ahead and add this material to our walls here. And let's make it actually transparent. So like 50? 100? Probably closer to 50 actually. Just a slight opacity so that if for some reason you're standing inside or in between words and you feel like you should slip through, this opacity will sort of reinforce that it's a magic spell. You're not meant to get through it. So it should make the collision of the text a bit bigger so you're not inside of it as you're being pushed back. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's clipping a little bit. I'm going to see how it looks right here. And I actually, you know what? I think we could fix this by... We could make it a little bit more legible by simply moving these points back a little bit. So let's say in the Z, we're going to say 0.5. Oh, nope. Is that in the X then? 0.25. Okay, 0.5. Wow, really? This one is the massive one. Let's do 5 on each. Okay, so they're a little bit farther back now. They're actually behind the colliders. So they should remain legible even if you're not, if you're right up against those colliders. Although that probably means that it's going to fly off screen, I'm guessing. And by off screen, I just mean like behind the wall here. Partial clipping. We'll see. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. What happens if you push it into a lamp? I tested that out on Thursday of last week, and it doesn't actually do what you were probably thinking, where it kind of squishes you. Wow, that was like super loud. It will, because it's moving so fast and because it's slightly angled, it's not a flat-on surface. You can't actually get pinched. What's going to happen is you might get wedged for a second, and then it'll pop you out on this side and then scoop you up and keep moving you back. So it shouldn't do anything. Would be the answer to that. Anyway, let's go ahead and back off. Yeah, I feel like if I center it a little bit more, it'll actually be pretty decent. Because that's part of the problem, is that they shouldn't be... Oh, yeah, it is picking me up. Ah! Part of their words are being clipped, basically. So we have go away. You can see that away is clipped. Yeah, ha! That's hilarious. I'm getting... The wall is pushing me fast enough that I don't fall. So... Like if I jump, I'm actually in the air. Okay. Um, let's see. Good point. So you can read better. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I was kind of thinking it would be better for the words to actually line up with you instead of spreading out like this, because then they can be basically like 2 meters in front of you at all times, and then the walls themselves would be invisible. So it would function the same. It would just look different, and it would be legible at all times. So I think we're going to try that next to see what that ends up looking like. Because I do like the scaling and the positioning, and I think it will look even better if it basically scales and positions in sync with you. So even if you move left and right, you'll see that it tries to position with you, and then the scooping will happen where it just shoves you back constantly. So let's go ahead and stop playing. And let's see here. So with this approach, by having the text actually be in front of you, and to show you what that's going to end up looking like, I was thinking something like this. So let's go ahead and move this up, move this to the side, rotate it -90. Yep, -90. We're going to put this here. We're going to shrink our text values to 32. Still too big. It's going to have to be something small. It might have to be even smaller than that. All right. Even that might be pushing it, actually. But for now, we'll keep it as is. And I'm not actually going to do anything with this. I'm just going to have this float in the world, and then I'm going to walk up to it to show you what it should look like. So we're going to say this text should be like get back. Oh, actually worked out pretty nicely, the centering. Let's see. Let's go ahead and move this. I'm going to say down one and over one. All right. So if I play, I should walk up to this, and then you'll be able to see. Wow, that was almost. Actually, that's pretty much perfect. So this is what I would think. So he would speak his words like "get back" or "go away" or what have you, and they would position themselves dynamically. So instead of trying to just like lerp to two set points in space, it's going to actually track down your X and Z. I guess it would just be your Z position because this is the Z-axis. So it's going to match your Z-axis, and then it's going to start moving towards you. But the walls themselves will also move. So that plow in the background will be completely invisible. It won't be this semi-transparent shape anymore. And then the text will look like it's the thing pushing you back, when in reality it's just those invisible colliders. And I feel like it'll be much more legible because we'll be able to have it be like this instead of giant letters left and right. That is, I will tell you, one of the really weird things about this game is like I constantly have to say it needs to be legible, which in no other game have I ever thought of that as a design priority. Legibility, or at least very rarely. So yeah, I think this is a better approach, just because again it's much easier to read, and you're not straining left and right to see what it was, because you got to remember that some people are not super fast readers. I mean, I'm probably just slightly above average at that, and it can take people longer than the like 2 seconds they would have to possibly see the words before they're scooped up and shoved back. So it's definitely a good idea to present it in such a way that even if you're not a fast reader, you can at least still see what it is for 5 seconds or however long it takes. I think it might be 3 seconds, but 3 seconds plus 2 seconds to lerp into position and whatnot. So I think I prefer the giant text. Just seems more brutal and shouty. Also lets people know that it isn't some small projectile they can try and run around. It's actually a full-size wall, but FC why small text looks better. I think if it's small, people will think that collision is small, maybe. Yeah, and we could potentially do a sort of like dual layered thing where we have the primary text be here, but as it's positioned, we could have, or once it gets in position, we can have 2 more labels basically spawn out from it and then scale up to become the walls in the background. But those walls would be this sort of semi-transparent dark color with the giant text on top of them. So and that text itself would be a smaller color. Uh, so a smaller color that was not sorry, I don't know why I said that. Would be a transparent color or a semi-transparent color. That way, the main focus is still going to be on the small label, but the large labels still say the same thing. So it's like reinforcing the concept of it. So you would still see get back at this size, but in addition to that, you would also see on the large walls get back, but semi-transparent. So let's go ahead and set this up. I'm also going to add a color field to our wizard speech, or color getter setter. Public color, I guess I'll just call it color. All right. Thank you for stopping by, Nixon. It's always good to see people who haven't been able to be on the stream in a while. Hopefully, at one day I'll be able to actually stream at a decent hour for you. Oh, can I not do color? Oh no, it's just right. I'm going to say get return label.color set label.color is equal to value. Oh yeah, okay, that's probably better for sure. Get a sense of scope then. Yeah, I mean, and again, it's a nice thing because if you see, I forget what it's called. It's actually a film technique. Jackie Chan talks about it a lot, where if you show the same thing twice in succession, it actually emphasizes it a lot more. So by having it be semi-transparent and much larger, it feels like it's more imposing, and it addresses that issue that you had with the collision visually seeming like it should be small. In any case, let's go ahead and go up here to Wizard Plow Trigger. Prefab, we're going to say public color word color is equal to color.red because he's the wizard. And the wizard's color is associated with red. Oh, man. You know what? No, never mind. I was going to say, it might be interesting if I added an extra question to the intro of the game that asked what your least favorite color was, because then I could have the wizard be that color. Maybe. We'll see. Let's... Okay, and before I forget, we're going to do this, and we're going to say left label.color is equal to word color. Same thing for the right label. All right. So now, instead of lerping to their set position, oh boy. Let's go ahead and say private. I forget if I called it player. I think I did. I really should have gave it a better name. Player, cached player. Actually, hold on. Cached player dot. Do I have a cache transform? I do not. Okay. Okay, this is gonna be transform. Cache player. Let's see. On start. I probably shouldn't do on start. Instead, I probably should say. Do I want to make a getter setter? That would be the most convenient. Yeah. For now, I won't worry about it. We're going to say if cache player is equal to null. We're going to say cache player is equal to global.hero.transform. All right. And then we're going to do some oddities here. I am still going to have a lerping transform, so it's gonna lerp towards a position in the x-axis, but the z-axis is going to be controlled by the player's positioning. So we're going to get rid of left wall and right. Oh no, actually no, we want to keep left wall and right wall. Left wall and right wall because we need to have the larger text come out to those. Okay, so instead we're going to add public transform target. I don't really. I'm terrible at coming up with names for variables. Let's see. So we have origin and target. So origin, again, is where the words start out. The target is going to be where they lerp to on the x-axis for their formation in response to the player. And then the left wall and the right wall are the giant versions that we'll be seeing afterwards. So let's see here. We need to say, set our cache transform parents to null. We're going to keep all that. And now, keep the rotation and keep the positioning. That's all fine. Okay. So, I got to add another duration here. So we have speak duration, and then I'm going to call this like wall duration, I guess. This is a terrible name. I don't know what's up with me. Just can't think of anything good for variable names. So speak duration is going to be the time it takes for the words to get out of the wizard's mouth and position in their spot. And then wall duration is going to be how long it takes for the walls to form up after that. So we have two distinct stages, positioning and then the walls. So let's go ahead and say, we get our local scale, scaling up to 1. And then we're going to have to say position. This is where it's going to be a little more difficult, because it's going to have to be a vector 3 here. So we have to say new vector 3. Oh, man. Oh, this is going to be so hard-coded. That's going to drive me insane. So for now, we're not going to worry about the fact that I'm going to hard-code it for z-axis comparisons, but in the future, I would probably want something a little bit more generic. In any case, so in the x-axis, we're going to say target.position.x. Then the y value is going to have to be... Oh dear, that's actually a good question. I suppose target.position.y. Target.position.y. And then the z-axis is going to be... did I call it player or hero? Cached player. Cached player dot position dot z. All right. And we need to base that on t. Now, I actually kind of think that in this case I would have one label initially, and then I would get 2 extra labels. So you'd have one label, which is your primary label. That's going to be the small text. And then you'll have 2 large labels, one for each wall, that pushes you back. So we will actually change how this is done a little bit. Okay. This is going to be a little odd. No. No, we're not going to do that. I'm going to change this to say left target, and public transform, right target. All right. So we will have 2 labels still, and they'll independently lerp to their respective positions. But they're basically just going to be set up so that they're guaranteed to be in order with one on top of the other. And then I can use those transforms to actually spawn our larger text. So let's see. So we're going to change left, left label. So this is going to be left target, right target. Let's come up here. We're going to paste. I guess I could just do this. So cached right position, and then right target. Okay. For now, oh geez, that's okay. I can still probably transfer, or just set this parent transform stuff. So right now we won't have the scaled up text, but we should, in theory, have the expected smaller text. And I'm also going to hit apply here. Once it compiles, of course. Apply, delete, zero out our positioning and our rotations. And let's see here. So we have a couple of more things to put up here. Left target and right target. I don't believe that this actually moves. So I'm going to set some new child objects. Left target, capital T, I'm not a savage. And let's see here. So we're going to move it to, I'm going to say here-ish. And I think that's fine. Let's duplicate this, and we're going to go down by 1. Actually, it might be better to do like 1.5. All right. And then this is going to be right target. All right. Let's go ahead and assign these references, and then I think we'll be able to test out the small one. Because in theory, it should look correct, and it should behave. Although, actually, no, it won't. Gross. I'm gonna have to like move this to here, pretty much. So let's go ahead and let's see. Where's our end? There's our end. Here's our start. Our end needs to move up again, right about there. Let's change our left target and our right target. Those both need to be done like right about here, probably. And there's one more thing that needs to happen. What was it? Well, I forgot. So, oh right, that's what it was. Duration. I'm going to increase that to 5 because I've moved this up significantly. I'd like it to take a little bit of time, or at least be noticeable. This in 3. Actually, you know what? No, I guess it would be slower, wouldn't it? So 3 seconds is probably fine. Don't know why I thought about that in reverse order. All right. Let's also hope that the plow isn't going to block me. Oh god. It almost worked. It feels like they're rotated oddly. They totally are. Oh, wait, no? Hold on. I must have ignored their rotation. There it is. Yeah. Do I want... yeah, we're going to get rid of these lines entirely. We don't really care about the rotation for now. The big words, the words on the walls will need that, but I think the base flat words will probably actually want to rotate to face the player eventually. But for now, I think it's fine that they're just, doing what they do. Man, I got a sore throat for some reason. That's probably not good. Let's see. I'd say I need to drink more orange juice, except I can't drink orange juice. Freaking diet. There we go. Oh my. Hold on. Oh no, that's what happens. Ew. Gross. Disgusting. So apparently if you set a parent, even if you set its world position to be the same, it looks like it just scales. That's disappointing. Right? Like I'm not crazy. Yeah. No, it's not my kryptonite. I won't die if I drink it, but I'm on a diet so that I don't die, and gotta cut out a lot of sugars and carbohydrates, and citrus fruits, despite how much I love them, are basically just sugar bombs. They're nature's sugar bombs, so I can't eat them, which is a shame because I love me some pineapple. Let's see. Anyway. So, to adjust that problem that we were just having, I am kind of gonna cheat And actually, you know what? Easiest solution is just to do that. Okay. Let's go back here to Wizard Plow Trigger. Let's go ahead and have another transform. Just transforms everywhere. Transform, plow, transform. All right. And then we're going to say down here, plow transform. Simple as that. Should prevent it from stretching because I'm moving that collider transform, not the individual cube transforms, because that would suck. Yeah, it's sadly my kryptonite is something much more well guarded than orange juice. Uh, Fair enough, makes sense. Yeah, it's super terrible not eating bread. By the way, sandwiches suck without bread. So do burgers. I miss burgers with buns. In any case, although I have learned how to make no carb pizza, which is it's actually pretty good. In any case, so let's see. Now we should. Oh, really? Huh. So I did that counterintuitively then. So the collider. No, yeah. Oh, I didn't assign it. I knew I was going to forget something. I was like, oh, let's see. Right there. All right. Let's try that again. Oh, and actually, I'm also going to try it. Ooh. Hold on. Yeah, I forgot about that. It needs to move in sync with the player at all times. So it looks like it stays in sync while you're positioning initially, but it definitely doesn't keep up with you once it starts the plow. So, how do I want to do this then? Should I have? Well, actually, yeah, that would work. I'm gonna move this. Plow complete. We're gonna move the is speaking equals false into plow or on plow complete, and then on trigger enter. No. We're gonna add an update function. I'm gonna say private void update if left label does not equal null. We're kind of gonna just assume that if the left label isn't null, then the right label isn't null, which should be fine because there's never an instance in our code where we disable one but not the other. So let's go ahead and say left label dot cache transform dot position is equal to, and it's basically going to be this. Oh, except not left target stuff, I guess. Right. Okay. So actually, we're going to say is equal to new vector3 left label dot cache transform dot position dot x. Oi. We get to do all this fun stuff. Y and then finally end up with cached player dot position dot z. All right, let's go ahead and copy this over to the right label. Right label. All right. Kind of wish I had sound effects whenever I compile stuff because I clearly am bored enough to make them myself. Bored enough? I don't think that's correct. I apparently need to entertain myself enough that I do it by myself. All right. Oh yeah. Side note, I recently, since we're just going to be testing for a little bit, oh, can I move? Yay, it's staying with me, although I don't like how it flickers like that. That was weird. Oh, right, that's too far away probably. Ooh. I don't think it's the text flickering. I think that's actually the player. Yeah, it looks like it's... Yeah. Still, though, I think that text actually ends up looking pretty decent. Might move it back a little far, or just like maybe half a meter to a meter. Currently, if any of you have seen Captain America Civil War, I believe it is, um, God, I don't know who designed the font in that movie, but whoever did it, whenever they show like the title of a location for the shot, it's just this massive text that takes up 90% of the screen, and it's so large that it actually hurts to read it. That's kind of what it looks like right now. So I just need to move it back by about a meter, and I think we'll be fine. Software sound effects, making it compatible with all the things. Yeah, there was actually a GIF on Twitter that I saw a while back that was like particle effects in your editor. So whenever you would type stuff, it just made this like shaky cam, and like chunks of text would fly off of each character that you typed. It was actually a pretty amazing looking thing. Um, is this Cinema Sin Streams? No. Yeah, I actually do like that channel a lot. But no, I'm not quite as witty as Cinema Sins is. Cinema Sins are? Cinema Sins is. Technically it's a channel, so it should be is, but it's Cinema Sins. Grammar makes it sound weird. So, in any case, so let's go ahead and let's see. We want to have our left and right target back by, I'm going to say, just that much, and I think that will really help. So let's take a look at that. But anyway, back to what I was saying before I got distracted because of the attention span of a squirrel. Recently I ordered t-shirts because Indie PopCon is coming up in it's June 7th, or July 7th. So it's like 2.5 weeks. And it's the first convention that I ever showed text with. Yeah, that's actually a lot better. Because it's still big enough that it has presence, but it's small enough to read it comfortably. Anyway, so I just ordered shirts for PopCon, and that was like a $400 hole in my wallet, which sucks. But I unfortunately set a precedent with myself where I got T-shirts for my first convention there, and I've just had to get T-shirts every year since. They're quite good T-shirts, but they're expensive. But people love to get swag whenever they go to a convention, so T-shirts are probably one of the best things that people can get at a convention. Oh man, I gotta come up with some solution for that jittering. Because what I think is happening there is that you're basically getting trapped between the two colliders, and they're forcing you back and forth a little bit. So I need to come up with a better way to handle that. Let's try going like way over here. It ends up working pretty well. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like the more you struggle against it, the more flickery it gets. Which is kind of problematic. I really don't like that. It actually kind of gives me a headache almost. Yeah, I've set myself something like that too. It drains money. Also, when it comes around, it's like, well, I gotta save up for this tradition. Yeah. And I mean, I'm happy to do it because, when people, I give it away, I give the T-shirts away. I don't sell them, which is why it hurts so much. But I give them away to like the first new player of the day, and the if you beat a high score for the day, then you get a T-shirt if you want one. If you beat Sierra mode, then you get a T-shirt. And people just love to try and get a T-shirt, and kids in particular just go nuts to try and get stuff, and in general to play the game, which makes me happy. But it's always fun just to watch people be invested. Like they're extrinsically motivated by the T-shirt, and then once they start playing, they actually get into it pretty well. So it's always a satisfying thing. Man, that jitter is really... I don't know what I can do about that. Because the only thing typically whenever I have an interaction like this, I would actually parent the player to the object, and then whenever you move, the player isn't going to jitter like that. But if The problem is that this needs to be reactive to the player. Oh, excuse me. Which means that I can't do that, and I'm just going to get a lot of jitter like that. Ugh. I kind of wish that I could have like a third, like a camera over here that was just watching me, and then I could record that and play it back so I could see what this looks like in third person. Because it's not terrible, and if you don't move, it's not noticeable at all. It's just that if you try to escape, it kind of like forces you back. What is it? Yeah. All right, so next I think we're going to try to do the scaled up letters. And this is actually going to be a little bit more tricky because we're probably going to need to do, instead of what we're doing right now where we just have the walls be in position, we probably actually need to have the walls positioned further back, so somewhere around the throne. And then when you actually get close, we'll have the positioning, and then we'll have, once the positioning is done, the I guess the other two labels will be instantiated and then scaled up and positioned on the walls, and then made to be semi-transparent and whatnot. But in order for that to have maximum effectiveness, I need to be able to see it. So it can't be in the same spot as our go away label or as our main central smaller label. It needs to be further back, then move forward, and then once it reaches the original label's position, it needs to parent the original label and then have that move with you. So it's kind of this weird 3-4 step process, but it should look pretty good once it's done. All right. So let's go ahead and get started on that part. Also, I'm really regretting not having a fan in my room right now. Well, not my room, my office. Because it is pretty hot in here. Ugh. Should have cranked the AC before my stream. Let's see. So we're positioning our stuff, and is there a reason for the writing on the ceiling being that way around? It looks backwards going in. Not sure why. I haven't been able to read it yet. Oh yeah. So typically the way I try to orient text is well, if it's on the ground, I orient the text in such a way to guide the player. So if you're ever playing this game and you get lost, just take a look at the ground, and whatever direction the text is legible from is usually the direction you need to go. I can't really show that very easily over here, but usually that's how it's done. It's not always the case, but in general, it's how it's done. But up here, it says fresco. And the reason I did it like that is because for things that aren't meant to be like super intuitive and guide the player, I try to orient them realistically in the way that it would be done in real life, which sounds weird, but if you think of a fresco, it usually starts at the top and then has a story going all the way down it, or from left to right or whatever have you. So by having the F be all the way up here, it's meant to sort of be interpreted as the fresco starts up there. Oh, and I started to push. And then, goes all the way down to the end there. But that's what it is. It's a giant fresco. Might be a little bit easier if I show it over here. There you go. Yeah, it is kind of hard to read, but that's also because it's super big. I actually feel like I kind of messed up with the spacing on the characters. I feel like I should have scooted them a little bit closer together. But it's fine for now. In any case, so yes, now we can go ahead and start our second spot. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. We have our while blah blah blah. Okay, so this first while loop is going to initially position our characters, or not our characters, but our initial labels. And actually, before, let me go up to Wizard Plow. Can I start point, end point, plow? I guess we can do that. Let's go ahead and say private game object plow game object. Say private game object plow game object. get return plow question, sorry, plow game object question mark plow game object else plow game object is equal to plow.game object. All right. Google says painting thing. Oh yeah, yeah. Fresco is if you ever see pictures of say the Sistine Chapel or anything like that, you know the big cathedrals, the paintings that you see on the ceilings of those things or of like government buildings, those are frescoes. They're just big paintings basically. I'm sure that there's an artist out there who could explain exactly what makes a fresco, but I've always just considered them, you know, big paintings on walls or ceilings. And I think part of it is that it actually does have to be on the wall or ceiling, not like a frame hung on the wall or from the ceiling. It has to be part of the architecture. Anyway, let's see. We're gonna say plow game object. Oh, come on, capital P. Plow game object dot set active true. Else down here we're gonna say plow game object dot set active false. So we're actually going to disable and enable these walls, and that's actually necessary because I need to be able to act like a player who doesn't know that they're there. So I need to just try to sprint all the way to the wizard, and if I don't get pushed back before I reach the wizard, then I need to tweak it. It needs to always push you back before you get close enough. So have anything else that I need to do? That should handle the basics of it. And that also means that I'm actually going to turn off our collider to start. And I will also... Hold on. Oh, it's compiling. I was like, why is it frozen? Alright. We're actually going to scoot this back again, which is, you know, super great. So we're going to scoot you back, probably to about there, I would say. Disable you. Let's go to our left and right targets. Let's go to about here. I think that's fine. Start is going to be, that's probably fine. End is fine there, I think. Alright, and now we can actually start coding what we need to do. So after our first while loop, which positions the initial label, we're going to spawn 2 more labels, which means that I'm actually going to come up here, and we're going to basically duplicate these 2 lines. It's going to be right wall label, or left wall label, and right wall label. Hello, Lettuce Smoke Studios. Welcome to the Devstream. A hacker? Like a hacker? I wouldn't be able to say that I'm that good. I'd say I'm on par with Matthew Illard in hackers, probably. And probably not that, honestly. I just happen to enjoy screaming hack the planet. In any case. Alright, so once we have this, let's see, on plow complete. We're going to have to duplicate these lines because we have some more labels now. So we're going to say left wall label. Right wall label. Wall, right wall. Oh, target position. Yes, I am acquiring targets all the time. Let's see. So we have our left and wall. I can't talk apparently. My left and right walls are now being recycled, or they will once we actually have them. So after our first while loop, we're going to have, I'm actually going to add another thing here. So we're going to say public float wall delay is equal to, we're going to make it very small, like 0.25f. And that's just going to be the small delay between when the wizard's initial words are spoken and positioned, and then the actual positioning of the large wall words. Please don't hack into your PC. I wish I was that good. But, you know, just so you're aware, I am performing a backtrace on your IP, and I would be a little concerned if I were you. You never know. Oh, wait. Hold on. What was the like CSI Miami thing? I'm creating a visual interface with. No, I'm creating a GUI interface with Visual Basic. There we go. That was an actual line of dialogue spoken by an actual actor and written by someone who was paid to write it because they had no idea how computers worked back then, and probably still now, admittedly, for Hollywood. Anyway, so we're going to say t is equal to 0f, and then we're just going to say while t is less than wall delay. Oops. Hate it when I do backwards like that. Yield, return null. We're just going to do t plus equals time dot delta time. Simple as that. And then at the bottom here, we'll say t is equal to 0 again. Then while t is less than 1f. Same thing. Yield, return null. T plus equals time dot delta time divided by wall duration. Simple as that. Alright, so now we can actually start with our instantiations and whatnot. Oh, actually, hold on. Did I do program? Dang it, I don't remember what my own commands are. I'm sad. I have Nightbot for this, and I don't remember what my own commands are. I feel like it might be programming. It's programming. Ah! There you go. If you want to learn how to hack. Recent films are a lot better with tech stuff. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, Dr. Evil Genius. Can you tell that I don't use it very often? Or that actually, it's not that. It's that I only recently installed it, so I'm still getting used to it. Let's see. Watched Logan today, and he was watching a video important to the plot. Phone, he was watching it. Phone was stolen, so he ran out of battery. Ha! That's pretty good. That's true. Maybe everyone in the world is a hacker, except for you. You never know. You never know. It's like what is it? There's a like I don't know. It was some newspaper style comic that was just no, it was a web comic, and it was just a picture of a person's face and their vision, their cone of vision, and it says your cone of vision in there, and then everywhere else except everywhere where you cannot see is densely packed Hitlers. And there's no way for you to ever know if that's not true because they're just outside of your vision. In any case, so now we need to actually instantiate our new labels and position them. So we're going to say left wall label is equal to pool manager dot request wizard speech prefab, and okay, this one's going to be a little weird. It's going to actually be the left label dot cached transform. So these new labels are going to initially appear to be the same as their parent labels or their original labels, and then they're going to scale out from there. So we'll call this right wall label. It's going to be parented with the right label. And then we're going to have to say left wall label dot text is equal to left label dot text. So no. It's not that. I'm saying that was the comic that I read. It was a joke on the fact that you can't see everything outside of your peripheral vision. So there's no way for you to ever know if technically the rest of the world, wherever you're not looking, is just a bunch of Hitlers. You can never know. In any case, so we're going to say right label dot text, right wall label dot text, and so that's going to set them to be the same words, which is good. I am going to actually add up here to our colors. We're going to have word color and wall color. which is largely going to be the same. The only difference is the wall color is going to be semi-transparent. Let's see, come down here, blah, blah, blah. Say left wall label dot color is equal to wall color. How do I buy the game? Well, it will be on Steam once it's done. It's been greenlit. Unfortunately, I need to finish it. It takes so long. I honestly, when I put it up on Greenlight, I thought I was going to be done within a year, and then I scrapped it and started over because it needed to be better. And also, I didn't expect to be greenlit as quickly as I was. I thought it was going to be like a year-long, 2-year-long process, and it was significantly shorter than that. So, yeah, hopefully, targeting early 18. Hopefully, I'll be able to actually make that deadline. I think I can if I knuckle down and really get it. It might be ending up closer to middle of 2018 or possibly 2019. But I'm not going to promise that. I'm just going to say I want to get 2018. That's my goal. In any case, so now we need to actually scale everything up. So we're going to say same thing we did up here. We're going to parent it and then immediately deparent them from the initial transforms. Oh, excuse me. We're going to change this to all label. Okay, and then next we're going to have to say, probably going to take out, let's see, local scale. It's not actually going to be this. It's going to be something a little bit different. So we're going to move this down here. And we're going to cache, so vector 3 cached scale is equal to left wall label dot cache transform dot scale. All right. So this is going to lerp between our cache scale and whatever the scale on our left wall is. Dot local scale. Simple as that. Okay. I'm a little worried that actually might end up being incorrect, but we'll try to see if that works. And this is probably actually fine to keep doing what I was doing here, except I need to change these to be left walls and such. Let's see. Right. Your message was not sent because it is identical to the previous one you sent less than 30 seconds ago. Oh, yeah. Nightbot is a, I mean, it is a moderator too, so it automatically does that stuff. It's actually a lot better than it was. The first night I rolled it out, someone got all of their messages were deleted because they were spamming caps. Technically, it wasn't anything bad. They were just talking because they were playing the demo on the website and they were really excited. But they got banned because they spammed caps. Technically, they didn't get banned. Actually, they got like a 5-second. I guess it was technically a ban. It's like a 5-second ban, and then all of their messages were deleted. I felt super bad afterwards, so I turned off caps lock, or whatever that caps spamming stuff is. So technically, if you wanted to, you could spam caps. Please don't. Otherwise, I will have to turn them back on. I don't want to do that. Add a full stop. Oh, just put in a freaking period. That should do it. All right. So that's our scaling. Next, we need to handle our positioning. So we need to say cached left position is equal to left wall label dot cached transform dot position. All right, we're going to duplicate this and say cached right position is equal to right wall label. All right, we're going to duplicate this and make our rotations. Rotation, Euler angles. All right. Okay, so now I can do this. It's this in, so this will be our positioning. And left target, so this is going to change to left wall. Oh dear. Left wall. There we go. Right wall. Oh, okay, I actually don't need to make it that big. Ta-da. Let's see. So you don't want me to talk like this? Yeah, well, as long as you keep it within acceptable rates, I'm fine with it. I'm a fairly lax moderator, or at least I like to think myself as one. Anyway, so we're going to say left wall dot position, and then right wall dot position, right wall dot position. So that's our scaling and our positioning. Next we need our rotation. So let's go ahead and copy this over. All right, and we're going to say cache transform dot rotation is equal to rotation, and this is going to be quaternion dot Euler and quaternion dot Euler. All right, so instead of cache left position, it's going to be cached left rotation. Oops. Cached right rotation. How good am I at multitasking? I am not good, which is why whenever I start talking, or whenever I start talking on the stream, you'll see me kind of like clicking back and forth to make it look like I'm doing stuff, but I'm kind of not. And I always feel bad about the fact that I don't multitask and talk very well. At least not with typing. And the cat wants attention. So we're going to lerp from cache left rotation, cache right rotation to left wall dot Euler. And right wall dot Euler. Okay. I think we're actually pretty good. I don't... You know what, actually, I'm going to change this to, say, new vector 3, and it's just going to be scaled up to 2. And then we're going to say pretty much, again, the same thing that we did up here. So we're going to say left wall label, right wall label. Okay. I think this will work. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm hopeful. Did I have anything extra field-wise that I have? Oh yeah, I got to change the color once it compiles. If I'm surrounded by peripheral avoiding Nazis, I need to watch my grammar. Yeah. I'm actually gonna, let's see, set this to something like 100 is probably fine. And maybe we'll keep it as neon red for now. See if I can find that image, because in any case, for those who are curious, I guess I could actually just paste the link. See if I can paste this in my own chat. There you go. There's the image I was talking about. Okay, get back to Twitch here. And let's go ahead and try this out. I'm hopeful. But just because I'm hopeful doesn't mean it's going to be good. Oh. It snapped to positioning. Oh, that makes sense. That's definitely not quite what I was hoping for. So that's a little annoying. Are they actually getting... Oh, you know what? No. Oh, wait, is their scale actually changing when they're parented again? It might be. Let's see. I know it's false because the icon that represents me is inside of a Hitler. I think the dot is technically meant to be you. But yes, I guess that would technically mean that there's like a Hitler around you. Ugh. What the heck? Ooh. Well, that was interesting. Oh, right. I remember reading about that. Cinema director, apparently, if you hit pause in the inspector, will kind of like break. What the heck? Where did it go? Hold on. Wow. What the heck? Oh, right. I know what it is. I'm sorry. Right. Right. It's because our collider is positioned way far back. So give me a second. Give me a second. Oof, this is gonna be kind of weird. So the problem is that I would probably actually need to position this like up here for it to be legible, really. So if I do that, it should look a little bit more correct. So why do I use Unity? Largely for the convenience, because porting to multiple systems is terrible. Oh my, that's a little close again. Oh yeah, and I need to pause when I get here because I'm pretty sure that I'm correct when I was saying that it's being rescaled, basically. So let's see, we have our label. Well, no, it is scaled up to 2. Huh. Yeah, and it looks right, actually. All right. So I guess I just need to scale it up beyond 2. But yeah, no, it's mostly for convenience, because Unity lets you port between a bunch of different systems very easily. So, and like I said, I'm not, I'm like Matthew Illard in Hackers. I can code, but I'm not the best. I'm not John Carmack. Yeah, I might be close in the sense that I am a human being who programs, but definitely not nearly as good as a lot of other programmers. So it's like Weeping Angels if I blink, then one is in front of me. Oh, well, that's a terrifying thought. You never know. I guess there are a bunch of other like designs that are similar, other images, and I don't know what they all say, but they're similar things, I think. In any case, yeah, I think there's one that says if. Okay, yeah, there's just a bunch of weird ones. You'll have to look at them for yourself. In any case, let's see here. So let's go ahead and go up here. And for now, I'm just going to expose a vector 3 for the scale. So I'm just going to say public vector 3 final wall scale is equal to new vector 3. And let's make it like 5. That's probably a bit too much, but we'll do that. Come down here. We're going to say final wall scale. All right. And, well, it should be fine. I will also, I think, position our starting block up here. And I will also move our left and right targets back by 1. And I think we'll be decent. Could be wrong, though. Yeah, positioning there is good. The real problem is that I do definitely need to move the collider up, because obviously by the time he talks, I could be way up here. And that's that's not quite good. So let's go ahead and that's not bad. I think, man, that's gonna suck. Okay, let's expose pivot points. Let's go to wizard speech. We're going to say public. I don't know what the actual value is, so I'm just going to say that. Pivot, or I guess alignment would be more appropriate. We're going to say get return label dot alignment. So this is text alignment options. Text alignment options. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to set it. Set label alignment is equal to value. Is there any water in game? If so, does it move? And so again, how does it look with text on it? There is water. There is water. It does move, and there are different types of water. I have rivers, waterfalls, oceans, and like surfaces, like shallow ponds, I guess is what I would call it. So it is a thing. And do you just call it water, or define it more like pond, droplet, puddle, etc.? I call it. So I forgot about droplets, actually. I do have drops. I have drops of water in the sewer level. And they're just particles that actually say drop, or drip, or drop. I think it says drop. Actually, it probably says drip. Either way. So that's the thing. So you get like this word, just this very tiny word, drip, that occasionally falls from pipes. Waterfalls say waterfall, and they flow down. Rivers say the word river, and they face each of their shores, and then they move. Oceans sway back and forth as they move, so it looks like waves. There's just slight movements on them to make them actually look like water and behave somewhat like water. Anyway, I was going to make an edit, and I forgot what it was. I seem to be doing that a lot. I probably need to eat something. I have not had a lot of food today. Let's see. So I'm positioning myself. And oh, right, that's what I was going to do. Let's see here. Left wall label. All right. So when we set our left wall labels text and colors, we're also going to say left wall label dot alignment is equal to alignment dot right. I'm assuming. So let's type right, and midline right is probably what we want. While our right wall label is actually going to have a midline left alignment. So now those words should actually be fairly close together, despite the fact that they're, not lined, or that they're sort of at weird angles. So it should make it look a little bit more imposing. And actually, when I do that, I do need to make sure that up here, let's go ahead and copy this. Color. So I need to make sure that I do this. And have these anchor or alignments be set correctly. So we're going to say midline. I'm guessing it's just midline. Yeah. So these need to be right in the center. Otherwise it'll look weird. Which probably actually means you gross. Oh, gross. Really gross. Okay. This actually needs to move down to here. So hopefully that snapping won't be very noticeable, but something tells me it will be. Go ahead and do that. Is there anyone who we meet that is unnamed then becomes named? If so, how do you handle that text? Are they like blonde lady, then we learn their name, text changes, or do we always have their name defining them even if we don't know it? Sorry yet, if that makes any sense. So, wow, actually, you're thinking a lot like how I've been thinking. So it's So the words are, well, how to describe it? So an object is always going to be described by its words. So for example, the wizard will always be wizard and the king will always be king, even though you'll learn their names. But learning something's name is actually important. It does affect how you interact with that thing. Because there are enemies that you can fight in the game. So there is actual combat, and it's inspired by Typing of the Dead. But if you learn an enemy's true name, then their health bar is actually smaller because their health bar is the word that's used for them. So for example, if you fight the wizard, his health bar would be the word wizard. But if you learn his true name is probably going to be shorter than that, which means that his health bar would shrink to something smaller. And actually, in the demo that's up on the website, you can do that right now. The troll is an enemy that you can fight, and if you learn its true name, then its health bar goes down by 1 unit, which means it can take 1 less hit. Okay, so there's the go away, there's the scaling. Oh, what happened? Hold on. Drop everything. Oh dear. I did it backwards? I think. Hold on. What the heck? Why are they so far out? Hold on. Wizard speech. What the heck? Oh, it's the scaling. Ooh. That's not great. That's not great at all. Well. Frack. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that because I'm an insane person who has to have control over every little detail like that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that actually. Man, that is somewhat disappointing. So I can't really get away with that. So this actually needs to be set up like this. It's not the end of the world. So I guess I just won't change their alignments for now. I might figure out a better way to handle that, but I think for now it's probably fine. Let's go ahead and that stuff. See what it looks like. So if Wizard became Ludwig Chester the Seventh, yeah, no, that's actually in general when you learn a character's name, they will have a shorter name than their profession or their position. I don't know what you would call a wizard. Is that a profession technically? I guess. Then whatever they are. Because again, the words are used to describe the actual physical object itself, not any personality bestowed upon it. But I think there actually was one enemy that I was planning on. I don't remember which one it was. That was once you learn its real name, it's actually a harder fight. Oh, it might be the. Yeah, no. So there's definitely stuff like that, and playing around with combat is actually. Yeah, they're like physical, like the physical thing that they are, the object that they are, I guess. Like, he is a wizard, but he's not literally known as wizard, and the king is not literally known as king. He's just a king, or I guess technically the king of Serapton. But so we gotta work on that collider or that trigger, see if we can get that. Let's increase its radius a lot. Let's see. Wizard. Can we bump that up to like 20? That might be too big, honestly, but we'll see. But there's a whole bunch of things that you can do in combat that, like learning their true name will help. Oh, crap. Yep, that's going to instantly happen. So learning the thing's true name will, help you fight it if you want to. There are also items that you can find that will help you avoid combat entirely, or end combat in a specific way. So that's actually something that you can also do in the demo currently. There are multiple ways to get around the troll. You don't have to fight it and kill it if you don't want to. But there are some enemies that actually will be potentially, well, probably not necessarily, probably not impossible to defeat just by brute force, but will be very difficult to do so. I just don't like how they're getting clipped. I guess I could shrink that down a little bit. Let's change our final size to 4. See if that helps. And then there are some enemies that will just become placated if you do something specific in their fight, like by using a specific item. Can I give the troll a red herring? I actually have So the red herring thing makes me think that you want to be, or it makes me think that you're making a Monty Python reference, but I cannot be sure. But actually, there is a red herring in the game. It's an actual red herring that you can find, um, but you won't have it sadly in time for the troll. Let's see. Don't want to be technicality, but wouldn't be gone on the wall if text be like spell or shout or something. Obviously, you don't want to air other invisible stuff. I'm assuming, but if it's magical and interacts with you, then I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to have a name or weird to not have one. Yeah, well, again, these are meant to be his actual words. So those are the words that he's shouting at you. Originally, I guess you probably haven't seen it actually because I have turned off that cutscene. But there are actual magical barriers. I can turn them on real quick. Let's see. Magic. Is it under props? Might be under props. Here it is. Let's turn on the magic wall. Oh, not that one. That one's stupid. Let's turn on this one. That's so weird. Yeah, so currently the cutscene that exists, the one that we are currently reworking, has magic barriers that it pulls up like that, and they just say magic all over the place. There are multiple ones. Let me go ahead and turn on the rest. It's so weird. It's like the cutscene triggers every time you stop pausing. Oh, Monkey Island. Oh, okay. Yeah. Admittedly, it has been what, like, well, I mean, the game came out in the 90s, but I think it's been over a decade since I played it. So I apologize for not getting that reference. I really should know my classical adventures a little bit better. But yeah. So there are things like that where it just says magic all over the place, but with the spells, because he's physically, those are meant to be his words. I kind of wanted to keep it like that. Although, actually, if we wanted to test this, let me go ahead and... Oh, really? It kept them... Oh, wait, no, that's right. They're on by default. Let's go ahead and change our materials on here back to the magic that it was. So this is what it was in the past. And it might actually be fine to keep it like that now. They're going to look a little bit stretched, but again, this is a placeholder. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were making like a Knights of Ni with a herring joke, or yeah, Monkey Island would have been a better one. So you can sort of see what it was going to be. It probably would work a little bit better if if they were a little bit further back, because as they are, they're too close and it's kind of hard to read it. But yeah, these walls actually do say magic. So that's part of the thing, is like I feel like I need to make it semi-transparent and not have text be the focus point of it, because if I do, it becomes really hard to focus and read it. So you can see that it just like blocks everything from view and sort of strains your eyes a little bit. But I need to think that through a little bit more, figure out what it's doing. Get a screenshot. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything. Yeah. Alright. I think there's a couple of things that I need to think about to figure out how we're going to handle this a little bit better. So this might be a decent spot to actually end for the night. We got everything working, which makes me happy. Well, working in the sense that we have a decent presentation idea. We're probably going to be working on this cutscene, admittedly, for like the next week and a half, probably. Just because my off-stream time is typically spent doing or making progress on later levels, and doing all the non-fun stuff, like fixing the freaking light leaks that we've had in this room in the past, and I think I fixed those. Oh yeah, I triggered another wall. So yeah, I think that's a pretty. Oh, actually, you know what? Before I stop, I am going to go ahead and try sprinting up to him, and I'm pretty sure that I can run past the wall still. Yep. Okay. So that's something we'll have to tweak. But pretty happy overall with the progress we made today. So get a couple more screenshots just to have fun with it. But yeah, so announcements, not off the top of my head. We should be back on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So that'd be 6 p.m. Central Time. And then whatever time zone you live in. I don't know all the time zones and their respective times. So pretty good place to end for the day. We got our initial sort of pass for our speaking done, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. Definitely need to do a little bit of tweaking, and I'm a little disappointed that Cinema Directory is causing that lag spike still. But I'll have to figure out something around that, or some way around that. So for now, I think that's a pretty good place to end for the day. So as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.